Good afternoon, everyone. We are glad to welcome you to this information webinar about the 9th and last cutoff of the IPA for SME action. My name is Rassami Couturier, and I am a project manager at GOPACOM, a communications agency that is partnering the IPA for SME consortium. Today, our webinar presenter will be Marco Graziadio from CARSA, which is the IPA for SME consortium leader. Before we start, we would like to remind you that the cutoff 9 will be the last of the action, and the deadline to apply is May the 27th. So do not miss your opportunity to get support on IP strategy or patent registration. Last but not least, please feel free to write down your questions in the chat. Your questions will be addressed at the end of the presentation, and regarding specific questions, these will be addressed at the end by email by the IPA for SME Coordination Center. Enjoy the webinar, and Marco, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Rassami, for this nice presentation. Good afternoon to everybody, and welcome to this informative webinar we have organized together with GOPA with the aim of guiding you through the application process. So, as Rassami said, my name is Marco Zadio. I'm really glad to be here today with you. I'm a technological innovation consultant working for CARSA, who is also the coordination center of the IPA4SME program. And as I said before, I'm here today to explain how to apply correctly, but also to provide you with general information on the IPA4SME program in case you will be selected as beneficiaries. So for today's presentation, for today's webinar, I prepared this presentation we will use to describe how to apply. But well, before to start, let's describe which is the goal of this project, or let's say, better to say, the idea of this program, because basically the European Commission strongly believes that the protection of intellectual properties is crucial, let's say, for promoting innovation, for improving your competitiveness, at least in Europe. For these reasons, the main goal of IPA4SME project is to facilitate and promote the use of intellectual property. And to do it, what we basically offer is financial expert support for valorize and protect intellectual property. Can benefit of these services all small medium enterprises which have received a seal of excellence from the Horizon 2020 Small Medium Enterprise Instrument Program. In order to support you as small medium enterprise, the services that basically we offer are service 1, also called IP pre-diagnostic or IP scanning, which is basically a service focused on providing you comprehensive pre-diagnostic to booster the capabilities and the competencies of the small medium enterprise in terms of intellectual properties. And we consider these services as a good, or better to say, a best opportunity to count on a qualified expert in the field of intellectual property and business strategy, with the aim of identifying both the advantage and potential opportunities of using intellectual properties, which can help to develop your business. So moreover, thanks to this service, as beneficiary, in case you will be selected, you will have the opportunity to identify together with the expert assigned to from us the main limitation and areas of development to strengthen your competencies always in the field of intellectual properties. Together with the IP diagnostic service, we also offer 2 co-financing services. The first one is usually called the service 2, is a service focused on providing you economic support to cover a percentage of EPO fees before the European Patent Office. Please consider that our support exclusively covers European patent registration process, which for the purpose of IPA4SME is defined as filing an application for a patent before the EPO, covering more than 2 European member states. So as regard to this, please keep in mind that Within Service 2 and Service 3, we can consider eligible only EPO patent or PCT patent being done through the EPO. Therefore, in case you are looking for financial support to cover IP protection in country like, for example, USA, China, and so on, please keep in mind that this kind of cost will not be covered, because again, we exclusively cover European patent registration process. So through Service 2, what you can basically receive is the 75% of the EPO fee cost, up to a maximum of euro 2,500 per single patent application. The service will be limited to 5 applications per small medium enterprise. Along with Service 2, we also offer Service 3, which also renamed IP attorney fee reimbursement. As you can easily understand from the name, this service is focused on covering the cost for hiring an IP patent attorney for the purpose of preparing the filing for a European patent. In this case, again, we cover only European patent. Again, we can consider eligible also PCT patent application, or let's say international patent, being done through the EPO. And through these services, we can basically cover the 50% of the cost incurred, up to a maximum of euro 2,000 per single patent application. So, who can be selected from this program, or better to say, who can apply to this program? As I said before, IPA4SME program was developed especially to support small medium enterprise who has received a seal of excellence. This is true, but in order to participate, you have to also meet other requirements that we are going to discuss now. So first of all, the basic is to be an holder of a seal of excellence awarded in the context of Horizon 2020 Small Medium Instrument Program. Important on this regard is that we can accept only seal of excellence which has been awarded to the small medium enterprise in the 3 years prior to the cutoff date, which means basically that since we are 2021, we can accept seal of excellence awarded in 2018, but not, for example, 2017. So please take care that the seal of excellence must be 3 years prior to the call. Then other important requirements are that you must meet the criteria to be considered a small medium enterprise by the European Commission, which basically means employ fewer than 250 persons, or have an annual turnover not exceeding 50 million of euro, and or an annual balance sheet total not exceeding 43 million of euro. Then can participate to this program all European and COSME country. Please take care, consider that, for example, and let's say, unfortunately, small medium enterprises located in countries like, for example, Norway, Israel, they cannot participate at this call because they are not recognized as COSME country. Then this requirement is just for the companies that are looking for the IP diagnostic service, because as regard to the Service 1 or the IP diagnostic service, can participate all small medium enterprise incorporated in one of the following countries, which are Austria, Denmark, France, Germany, Greece, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Netherlands, Spain, and Sweden. For all the rest of the countries, again, that are at least included in the COSME country list, all of these small and medium enterprise, they cannot receive the IP diagnostic service, but they can benefit from Service 2 and Service 3. But again, just for the IP diagnostic service, are eligible only the small medium enterprise located in one of the country that you can read in our slide. Then last but not least is that to participate to this program, you should not have been supported by the Horizon 2020 Small Medium Enterprise Instrument Phase 2 program, also known as EIC Accelerator Pilot. So I will repeat this requirement again because I think it's the core of this webinar, but I will be quickly. So you can apply only if you are an holder of a seal of excellence, which must be awarded to in the 3 years prior to the call, then meet the criteria to be considered a small medium enterprise by the European Commission, then be incorporated in in a COSME country or a European country, then to be eligible for the IP diagnostic service, small medium enterprise must be incorporated in one of the following countries, and then have not been supported by the Horizon 2020 Small Medium Enterprise Instrument Phase 2 program. However, please keep in mind that there are not this kind of restriction in case you were supported within small medium enterprise instrument phase 1. Only 2 are not eligible. How to apply? So as you can see in this slide, the application process basically consists of 3 main steps. What I recommend to you is to start the application process in advance, which means at least start registering and creating your proper account in order to familiarize with the electronic submission system, which will be the platform that you will use also in a later stage in case you will be selected as beneficiary. So once you register yourself, what you have to basically do is to provide all the information requested in the application form. Otherwise, the electronic submission system platform will not allow you the submission. So what we are looking for is, again, to provide us general information about your company, like, for example, the number of employees, annual turnover, this kind of information, which for us are interesting, especially for internal study, statistical analysis. And then along with providing us this information, what is really important to collect from you is the seal of excellence awarded together with the evaluation summary report corresponding to the proposal awarded with the seal of excellence. As regard to the seal of excellence, what I would like to add is that to consider that the seal of excellence that you have to provide us is not mandatory that this seal of excellence is associated to the patent for which you are looking for the financial support. So even if you are looking for a financial support associated to a patent that is not the one through which you receive a seal of excellence, for us this is not a problem. Again, the seal of excellence is just a title that you have to possess in order to participate in this program. So again, please remember that in the application form, after completing and let's say filling in all the questions, what you have to do is basically provide us the seal of excellence together with the corresponding evaluation summary report. So once you submit your application, all applications that will meet the eligibility criteria that we will see before will be considered in the evaluation and then in the selection process. So how we will select you? Basically based on the points received in the evaluation summary report, application will be ranked. So support will be ranked, or let's say support will be awarded at the highest rank until the planned budget is exhausted. As regard to this point, please note that we usually allocate the same budget for both Service 2 and Service 3. But since we see before that within Service 2 we can reimburse Euro 2,500 compared to the Euro 2,000 that we offer within Service 3, please keep in mind that some companies may be eligible for both services, but be awarded only for Service 3 and not for Service 2. Again, and why? Because, as I said before, we usually allocate the same budget for both services, but the cost of both services is different. So, as Rassami said you before, this is the last cutoff call. It will close the 27th of May. Consider it that it will be the last cutoff call. So take your opportunity to apply. You can follow us in the different social channels like Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And in case you have some doubts until times, please keep in mind that the IPA4SME Coordination Center has put at your disposal the following email. You can always contact us at calls@ipa4sme.eu, but you can also contact us at helpdesk@ipa4sme.eu. Usually, but not always, we try to do our best to answer you within 24-48 hours. However, and I am honest with you, sometimes can happen that we receive a dozen of email and we are not able, physically speaking, to answer to all of them. So in case you will not see an answer within 48 hours, just be patient. However, and at this point is that in case you will see that you are not receiving any answer within 5-6 days, this means that we never received your email because maybe is the spam box which collect it, or maybe there was a problem during the sending. So in case you never receive an answer within 5-6 days, our suggestion, let's say my suggestion, is to send again the mail. We finished with the presentation, but as I said at the beginning of the webinar, I prefer to take the opportunity to discuss together with you not only about the information that I have already discussed, but also to give you some information as regards to the next steps in case you will be selected as beneficiary, in order to make you familiarize with all the processes. To do it, what I basically do is collect the most frequently asked questions we received in the course of the 2 years of the project, and now I will be glad to discuss with you about these questions. So, first questions. Through having a seal of excellence, a small medium enterprise won later on Horizon 2020 small medium enterprise instrument project. Will this company still be eligible for the IPA4SME support? Unfortunately not, because again, as I said different times, small medium enterprise which have received financing for an Horizon 2020 small medium enterprise phase 2 are not eligible for support through IPA4SME at this time. However, there are not such restriction for phase 1 funding. Question number 2. We have a seal of excellence and filed a patent already. Can we be a beneficiary to receive reimbursement from IPA4SME if we already filed a patent of the patent submission date should be after the application at IPA4SME? This is really important because one of the requirements we will ask you in case you will be selected as beneficiary is that in order to be reimbursed, the company must provide us an invoice together with the corresponding proof of payment, and these documents are eligible only if these documents have been issued after the date of the communication of award. When I say communication of award, I mean basically the day where we communicate you as regard to the services awarded. For example, image that we are in cutoff call 9, the last day of submission, the 7th of May. So let's imagine that the 10th of June you will receive this communication of award, where basically we say you that, for example, your company CARSA is awarded with both Service 2 and Service 3. When you receive this email, you will know that you have awarded some services, which means that you were selected as beneficiary. For the two co-financing service, to receive the reimbursement, you have to provide us again an invoice together with the corresponding proof of payment. But these documents are eligible only if dated after the 10th of June. All the invoices dated before, unfortunately, are not eligible. This is a specific requirement that the European Commission put in the grant agreement. So even if it can be strange, we are forced to respect it. So as regard to this question, please keep in mind that IPA4SME can only reimburse selected small medium enterprise for EPO and patent attorney invoice issued after the IPA4SME support has been awarded. If the patent has already been filled, it would not be eligible. Question number 3. I don't have a seal of excellence or I cannot find it. What I can do? So every company that have submitted a proposal to the Horizon 2020 Small Medium Instrument Program should be able to check if they possess or not a seal of excellence. To do it, we have to log in into the participation portal of the European Commission, then going to My Proposal. Then we have to click on the follow-up under the action button. Then click on process documentation. You will be sent to a new space where you can basically find the seal of excellence along with the corresponding evaluation summary report. If following this procedure you will see that there is not any document, this means that you were never awarded with the seal of excellence. Please keep in mind that indeed the seal of excellence is awarded only to the small medium enterprise which participate to a small medium enterprise instrument proposal, but they also received or let's say they passed the exam with a threshold score of 13 but do not receive financing. Question number 4. Once a company has submitted an IPA4SME application, what process does it have to follow if selected for support? The process will slightly differ if you are awarded with Service 1, Service 2, Service 3, because for Service 1, which is the epidemiologic service, in case you are selected, basically the coordination center will place selected small medium enterprise in contact with the national expert as soon as the selection process has been completed. Then the scheduling of the IP diagnostic service will be a matter of the coordination between the small medium enterprise and the expert. Once you schedule a possible meeting, the expert will interview you for at least from 2 to 4 hours, asking you specific information, again, always regarding IP, the intellectual properties, and all the business strategy developed by your company in terms of exploit intellectual property. Then at the end of the discussion, the expert will provide you a report which is confidential. Once you receive this report, you can consider the IP diagnostic service completed. As regard to Service 2 and Service 3, indeed, the reimbursement will be granted on a case-by-case basis. So after the small medium enterprise has been selected, you have just submit the required documentation to the EMS portal. Again, required documentation, usually an invoice together with a proof of payment. Once we receive this documentation, we basically revise it, and in case the documentation meet all our requirements, you will receive the corresponding reimbursement. Question number 5. Is there any time limitation for justifying EPO and IP patent attorney fee after a small medium enterprise has been selected? Yes, there is a specific time limitation. So in the event that a small medium enterprise has been awarded with both or just Service 2 and or Service 3, The beneficiary will have 4 months to activate the support services. Activate the support services means to provide us at least one valid invoice with one valid corresponding proof of payment. This invoice is not mandatory to provide us an invoice which covers all the costs to complete the patent registration. You can also send us an invoice just including, for example, preliminary cost of the patent attorney. This invoice will be valid. So what I would like to say you that you can also send us 10 invoices split for the different, let's say, work done by the IP patent attorney. So it's not mandatory to provide us only one invoice. But again, please keep in mind that once you will be selected, you will have only 4 months to activate the support services. Once you activate the service, the small medium enterprise will have up to the end of the IPA4SME initiative, which is the 31 December 2021, to present invoice for a second payment request. And again, the deadline for the final request of reimbursement is set for December 31. Then, question number 6. I'm already working with an IP patent attorney. Is her cost reimbursable? As regards the IP patent attorney fee to be reimbursement, is important that the person issuing the invoice must be a professional entitled to act before the IPO, who has been hired by the small medium enterprise for the purpose of preparing the filing of a European patent. As regard to this point, don't be worried, because usually at least the 95% of their lawyer firms, at least they have employed one person entitled to act before the IPO. In Europe is full of people entitled to act before the IPO, so don't be worried, it will not be hard for you to find this person. However, what I would like to add is that in case the person following you in the filing process is not entitled to act before the IPO, it's not mandatory to change it. In this case, what I recommend you before to advance with the process is just to be sure that at least one person working for the company is entitled to act before the IPO, in order that once you will receive the invoice, what you can do is to replace the name of the person that in reality follow you with the person entitled to act before the IPO. With this information will be enough for us to validate the invoice. Question number 7. Are all the types of patent eligible to be subject of IPA4SME support? As I said before, no, because our support exclusively covers European patent registration process and the cost of service in the scope of filing a European patent application process, which means that cost for IP protection in countries like USA, China, Canadian, and so on will not be covered. Then question number 8. How does the IP diagnostic service process look like? What is expected from the small medium enterprise in order to enable a complete services? I have already answered to this question before, but I will repeat because I think it's better. But again, the IP diagnostic service provides expert analysis of the small medium enterprise existing technology knowledge assets, along with a customized IP business strategy. The service is totally free of charge, which means that all the costs for paying the patent attorney providing with the IP diagnostic service will be covered by the coordination center. Once an expert has been assigned to you, which again is usually coming from the company country of origin, the experts will run together with you an in situ analysis, if it's possible, since we are in COVID time, examining the company's current asset in order to elaborate a detailed report, which will have to be validated by the small medium enterprise, providing it's satisfied with the outcome. In general terms, the service will entail one visit to the company, that will allow the expert to prepare a draft report, which results and content will then be revised with the company during an approximately 2 hours debrief. As regard to the in-situ visit, please keep in mind that due to the outbreak of the COVID, this is not allowed in all the countries, as many companies, let's say also experts, they don't feel comfortable to organize an in-situ analysis. So in that case, you can also think about to schedule a Skype call meeting with the expert or using a similar application like, for example, Zoom. And what I would like to say about this point is that in the last 1 year, at least 85% of the companies preferred to organize a Skype call rather than a in situ visit. And what we learned is that all of them, they were really satisfied to receive the IP diagnostic service, even if through a laptop PC computer. So final important rules for payment requests. This is really important for you, especially if you are interested in service 2 service 3, because it has been established that each granted service 2 and or 3 will be for a unique European patent application process. In other words, when we select an application submitted, this is just for one single patent, which means that in case you have several patent application processes in the pipeline for which you are looking for to receive the financial support, in order to receive it, you have to submit several IPA4SME applications as many patents you have in your pipeline. You can submit different applications the same cutoff date or in future one. In this case, I will suggest you to apply several times in this cutoff call. In case, for example, you have 5 patents, what I suggest you is to apply 5 different times. As regard to the second application, please keep in mind that once you complete the first one, the majority of the information are saved in our main page. So when you are going to apply again, you will see that the application will not take more than 5 minutes, since the most of the information are already there. And also we'll add that if you're applying several times, don't be worried, you can always use the same seal of excellence again, because as I said before, the seal of excellence is just a title that you need to have to participate, but it's not important for us that this seal of excellence is associated to the patent, or let's say patents for which you're looking for to receive the financial support. So therefore, so again, please keep in mind that one application, one patent financed. Thank you very much to following me. I hope everything was clear, even if I know that I talk a little bit fast and that my accent is quite strong, but I hope everything was clear. So I'm going now to see if I received a specific question from your side. Just give me a second to open the schedule. Okay, we have just one question, which means I hope that everything was clear. The question is from Miss Julia Arnd. Sorry if sometimes I can wrong my surname. Rasami, we are seeing your mailbox. I don't know why. Thank you very much. Okay, Miss Julia is asking me, is reimbursement possible for a European patent subsequent application based on, for example, a Dutch first application or Germany first application? Sorry. The answer is that if the patent, if we are registering a European patent, we can, without problem, accept it, even if you did first a national register application. Many times companies prefer first to do a national registration and then move through the IPO. And this is quite normal for a lot of company, which means that the reimbursement is possible. Is not a problem. The only important things for us is to receive an invoice which clearly states that you're working to filling the patent. So just including us like professional cost, for example, let's say that we are in service 3. Professional cost for the filling of the patent with the title, blah, 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 is fine for us. The only important thing is that we are sure that it is an European registration process. And to do it, we have just to put all the title of the invention, including the EP with a number, or just describing directly in the invoice that the costs are regards an European patent application process. This information will be enough for us. I hope this answer was clear. Again, thank you very much for following me. It was a really pleasure. And again, in case you have some doubts, remember that you can always contact us, and we will be glad. It will be a pleasure for us to answer you, provide you all the information you need. Thank you very much, and I wish you a great day, and keep in touch. Bye.